Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick. I'm a photographer living in the southwest of England, and at the moment I'm currently in South Wales with two photography vlogger friends, Tom and Mark. Come to a waterfall walk today. This isn't the Four Falls walk, this is just waterfall country walk, and there's a few, I think 4 or 5 different waterfalls down this stretch of the river. So we're gonna make our way down the river, see what we can find, see if we can get some nice shots of the waterfalls. So Mark and Tom are behind me over there. Hello. And we are going to make our way down the river, see what we can find. So I'll speak to you shortly. Okay, so we found the fall, the first one that we're going to photograph, so all I really need to do now is find a nice composition. I'm not really sure, looking around, where I'm going to go just yet. I'm going to try and get some of this real nice colour. And quite a deep pool in front of it, and I think a couple of swimmers have just been there having a bit of a swim. It's more of a spout really, but I just got to find a nice composition and set up my shot. Okay, so I've got the composition lined up, and I've got this rock in front of me. I'm using as a foreground interest to put a polarizer on, just to slow down that shutter speed. It's quite dark in here anyway, but I put the polarizer on, and I'm focusing on this rock which is just down in front of me here first, and it will be focus stacked. I'm using the wide angle lens, 16 to 35, so I can get all that in. And I got the waterfall in the upper thirds. I'm going to take that shot. And then I'm going to focus now on the waterfall in the background, and then I'll put those together later on when we get back. In Photoshop, I'm at f6.3, and that's given me just over a second exposure, and I think that's more than enough. But the filters that I'm using, I like to use because it takes that edge off any glare. That's polarizing the water really nicely. Lovely colour to it. So yeah, first shot's in the bag. I'm going to see if I can find something else. Okay, so this time I'm in a bit of shadow. There we go. So this time I've got 3 rocks in the foreground, and I'm going to focus on the middle rock, and at least in this composition I'm actually getting some of that autumn colour. I'm steaming up. This will be focus stacked again, but at least when you're sort of looking through into the image, you've sort of got these 3 rocks in the foreground surrounded by all these colourful leaves, and the waterfall in the background. It's the same settings as the last one. F6.3, that's just over a second exposure. ISO 100 using the 16:35 f2.8 on the Canon 5D4. Remember that the settings that I tell you for these shots, they're only a guide. The light could be so much different if you come and photograph it yourself. So just bear that in mind. So another focus stack shot. Blend them together in Lightroom and Photoshop, and let me know what you think. Okay, so that's the first waterfall in the bag. I've got a few nice shots from here. Tom tells me he's got a few nice ones as well, and apparently that little bay just about there is in the shape of a love heart. I didn't actually spot that when we turned up, but if you check out Tom's channel, and I'll put a link up in the top corner or in the description below, and you should be able to go and check out his video when it comes out and see for yourself. So onward and upward to the next one. Okay, so it seems like we timed the first one really quite well, because about 20 swimmers have all moved in there with their dogs, and getting a shot there now would be impossible without removing all of them in Photoshop. So in the bag, got to beat them to it. So we are moving back up now the way we just came, and I can't wait to get that 3-tier waterfall up the hill. Okay, so I've actually managed to climb down the base to this waterfall. Not the easiest of walks, I will say that, and I probably shouldn't recommend it, but I think it's highly worth it when you get down here. It cuts out a lot of the unwanted sort of surroundings, although when you look around there really isn't any surroundings that you want to get rid of. So really happy that I did come down here. So again, I've sort of just done the basic settings, what I've been doing everywhere really. F6.3, ISO 100 for about 1/8 of a second. I just did a 30-second exposure, so if that's any good, I'll put it up. I'm not really sure, but when you're here, you really need to try it out. So so glad I did. So glad to be here. The colours here are nuts, absolutely fantastic. So really can't wait to start putting this video together, and hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. This is brilliant, epic day. So make our way back up onto the walkway and back up to the next one. Oh, this is so good. Quite rocky and quite slippy after the rain last night, but good thing about rain and waterfalls is that it gives them a really good flow, so I'm not complaining. And then after a composition, that was my last shot. I've got it with nobody actually up there on the rocks. And I think the best place to take this from is actually where we're stood in the river. Tricky to get down here, but wow, worth it. It's another one in the bag. I feel a calendar coming on. See the beach in a minute. Okay, so I'm down at this epic waterfall, but I'm so excited and I get so carried away that I just keep forgetting to film any of it, so I'm really sorry. So I will put all the settings for the photos on the bottoms of the pictures. This place is absolutely stunning, it's phenomenal. I think this one just rates a little bit better than Ingleton, if I'm honest. And it's only an hour down the road really for me, hour and 20 minutes. So I'm coming back to it and there's no question about that. This waterfall is stunning, and look, look, I'm all on my own down here. There's nobody down here. There's a few people up on the pass, but if you want to venture for the best shots, you've got to be down in the valley, and there's just no one down here. It's not that difficult to get down either. So if you do come here, come down, but be careful. It's very slippy, but you will most definitely get the best shots. Check these out. Let me know what you think, and I'm moving on up the river. See what else I can find. I'll speak to you in a minute. Okay, so we've walked up to yet another waterfall, and there it is behind me in the background. Mark's over there somewhere. He's just set up his composition. Tom's in front of me just here, but we were racing for the same composition, so I'll let him go first. And the composition is these rocks just here, from these rocks just here, waterfall, and then there's a tree with a fair bit of colour behind it, just overhanging the waterfall. So as a shot goes, it's already made. The colours are in the trees, you've got the waterfall coming over the falls, colour and texture in the foreground. It's a no-brainer really. So that's the one I'm going for when Tom's done. Be all the same settings as they've been all the way up. I'm on the 16 to 35 lens, nice and wide, to get all that in, get nice and close to these rocks, and get the shot. So I think Tom's done, so I think we can move in and get our shot. I had to cross the river, by the way, to get this shot, so you better like it. Oh. Okay, here we go. I was going to put you down for a minute, and then I can get set up. Okay, so I have decided actually to photo stack again, because I'm using the leaves right in front of me in the front of the camera as a foreground on the rocks, and then obviously the waterfall in the background. So I'm having to photo stack again, I think. I've got the 2 images. If I need to focus stack, I can. If I don't need to, then I won't bother. But I want to try and get up above this now, because I just got that tree and the waterfall as one shot on their own. Okay, so we've just got back to the field and we've actually realised that that last waterfall was probably the last epic waterfall. So I think going down we got quite confused because there were so many and so many good ones at that. But I'm not complaining at all. We've got some great shots. I'm sure the lads have got some great shots, so we're going to call it a day there. So yeah, if it's first time here, consider subscribing. I'm going to try and get back onto the channel, start keeping them coming back on now. Start getting back out there with the camera. I'm going to get a new camera, which I will reveal hopefully in the next video, which will be in a couple of weeks. So from me it's goodbye, from Tom it's goodbye, and from Mark,
cheers Nick.
There he is, yep, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.